So hope your preparation is going on well, right? So please do revise the things as soon as we complete in the class, okay? So otherwise we will forget if you are opening book after some n number of days. So revision is very, very important. So whenever we will be completing any topic, so please do immediate revision. Maybe today if you are completing one topic, so today after completing the topic, or maybe tomorrow, so you have to revise, okay? Otherwise you cannot follow in the next class, okay? So I'll just briefly revise what are the things which we have seen in the last class. So in the last class we started with PERT topic. So if you remember, so already in the previous class itself we have seen the formulas regarding standard deviation, variance and so on, okay? But in the last class we have seen some n number of questions based on those, how to apply those formulas and how to find out standard deviation values and variance values, okay? So after that we have seen probability of completing a project. That means why we have calculated these standard deviation and variance values, to calculate the probability values. So that already we have seen in the last class. So after that we have seen the project crashing also, right? So in project crashing, so we have seen some questions also regarding that. So why we are going for crashing and other things we have seen, right? So with that crashing part we have finished our CPM and PERT topics, and then we have started with some network flow models. So these are also network models, okay? But these are having different applications. Like for CPM and PERT, you are having applications, that means you can use this CPM and PERT in project management. But these network flow models are having different applications when compared to CPM and PERT, okay? So your first network flow model which we have seen, it is minimal spanning tree algorithm. So only you can expect some theoretical type of questions from that particular algorithm, right? So application part of that also we have seen. And after that, we have seen, so with that we have ended in the last class, right? So that means we have seen only minimal spanning tree algorithm, right? So now we are going to start the second algorithm, so which is the only algorithm left in this network flow models. So second algorithm is shortest route algorithm, okay? So with that algorithm we will be finishing this particular network flow models topic also. After that maybe hardly it will take some 15-20 minutes of time, okay? So after that we will start with linear programming, which is your second chapter. Most important again for GATE examination. So in linear programming we will be starting with graphical method and simplex method and duality principle. So most probably we will be finishing this particular graphical method also in today's session. So if possible we will try to start with the simplex method also, if time permits, right? So last algorithm in this network flow models. So let's try to understand this particular algorithm using an example question. Okay, so this is our second algorithm and last one in network flow models. So shortest route algorithm. Now again the application part of this particular algorithm, it is different when you compare the application part of the previous algorithm which we have seen in the last session, which is minimal spanning tree algorithm. Okay, so there what we have seen, so you can connect different machines or you can connect different cities with minimum length of the road, right? Or else you can connect different machines with minimum time taken to travel for the raw materials, right? So now for this particular algorithm, shortest route algorithm, okay, so what is the question asked here? You have to find the shortest path from node number 1 to node number 7. Now again observe the difference between the previous network diagram and this particular network diagram. So in the previous network diagram, that is in minimal spanning tree algorithm, where we have seen one network diagram, that is your non-directional network diagram, okay? But in CPM and PERT we have seen some directional network diagrams. Again it is also a directional network diagram because arrow marks are given, okay? Now let us say all these 7 are cities again, okay? So you might have heard about traveling salesman problem, right? Traveling salesman. Let us assume there is a salesman. So he has that particular salesman, he has to travel from city 1 to city 7. Okay. So now the notations, everything is same, like arcs, edges, everything, whatever we have seen in the previous algorithm, those will be applicable here also. So this is what we have called weightages. Okay. So your weightages can be cost, time, length, or anything else which you want to minimize. So let us assume that here in this particular example, let us assume that if you want to travel from city 1 to city 2, you have to take, you are spending 15 hours of time, okay, or else it takes 15 hours of time to move or to travel from city 1 to city 2. Similarly for other cities also you can assume this weightages as time periods, okay. So now you have to find out the shortest time taken to move from city 1 to city 7. Okay, so that is what the problem is. So this algorithm you can call it as shortest path problem, shortest route algorithm, or one more name is also there like Dijkstra's algorithm. So again, no need to worry about the names. Okay, so whenever they ask in the gate examination, they can use this name only, shortest path algorithm or shortest route algorithm. Okay, now we just observe here. So the salesman, so assume that there is a salesman here. Now this particular salesman has to travel from city 1 to city 7. He has to reach city 7. Now the question is, do this salesman has to touch all the cities? Answer, no, not required, because he just have to travel from, or he has to start from city 1 and he has to reach city 7. So no need to touch all the cities. Okay. So I am just taking the notation like this. So you might have seen the notation for calculating the float values, right? Like earlier start times, later start times. Similar kind of notation I am taking here also. Okay. So whatever the rules we have followed, forward pass rule, backward pass rule. Okay. So similar kind of rules are there here also. So we are having only one rule. Okay. Which is similar to the forward pass rule, but it is not same. Okay. So I will tell you what is the difference. Fine. So again, let us assume that I am starting at time t equal to 0. Okay. So there is no direct we will be assuming that there is no direct connectivity from city 1 to city 7. Okay, so if you want to reach city 7, maybe he has to move through this particular cities. Okay, now at time t equal to 0 I am starting, so I will be reaching this city 2 within 15 hours. That means 0 plus 15, it will be 15. 0 plus 20, it will be 20. Now 15 plus 25, it will be 40. And here 15 plus 10, it may be 25, or 20 plus 15, it may be 35. So now you just tell me which value should I write here? Which value should I write here? Remember, it is shortest route algorithm. So similar kind of procedure we have seen while calculating the float values. Dinesh, ready? Very good. 25, very good. Not 35, Nitika. So this is the shortest route algorithm. Okay. See, whatever we have seen in CPM problems while calculating while using forward pass rule, we have calculated earliest start times and earliest finish times. Okay. So there we have taken larger value because we have to complete all the activities. Okay. So here no need to touch all the cities, right? So he can just move from 1 to 7. He has to move from 1 to 7, but he doesn't need to touch all the cities. Okay. Or else you can simply remember, as it is a shortest route algorithm, you have to find out the shortest route to reach this particular city. Okay. So here you have to write 25. So this is the only change which you have to remember. So please keep this in mind. So whenever you are using this shortest route algorithm, you have to use you have to take the minimum value only. So similarly, 20 plus 20, it may be 40, or 25 plus 15, again it may be 40. So as there is a tie, so take the minimum value is 40 only. So now 40 plus 10, it will be 50. And 25 plus 30, it will be 55. And 40 plus 20, it will be 60. So what is the minimum value among these three? 50. So you have to write 50. Now what is the shortest path from 1 to 7? Shortest path from 1 to 7. So look at this particular network diagram and just try to see what is the shortest path from 1 to 7. Shortest time will be 50 hours. So shortest time, shortest, or you can say minimum time, shortest path you have to say, and minimum time will be, so minimum time will be 50 hours. And what could be the shortest path? So I got some answers. 1257. Fine. 1257. Very good. Okay. So just observe here. So 0 plus 15, 15, 15 plus 25, 40, 40 plus 10, 50. So the shortest path here is 1257. Okay. So this particular salesman has to move along this path such that the time taken is minimum. Okay. So it may be time period, or it may be, you can say, number of kilometers also. So this will be your weightages. It may be time period, it may be cost also, or it may be number of kilometers, anything which you are interested to minimize. Right? So one more condition or one more point in this particular algorithm is, not only from city 1 to city 7, okay, you can find the shortest path from city 1 to any other city. Let us say, what will be the shortest path from city 1 to city 6? Time taken will be 40 hours. Shortest time or minimum time? Okay. So minimum time taken to reach city 6 from 1 to 6 is 40 hours. Now what will be the shortest path from 1 to 6? So 15 plus 10, 25. 25 plus 15, it is 40. So maybe in this path or maybe 20 plus 20, it will be 40. So you are having two paths. So please observe here. So what is the shortest path from 1 to 6? You are having two shortest paths. You can choose any one. So along both the, along both the paths, time taken will be same, which is 40 hours. Okay. So the beauty of this particular algorithm is you can find out the shortest path from starting city or from starting node to any other node. That's all. Okay. So maybe here they have asked shortest path from 1 to 7. Maybe in the examination they can ask you from 1 to 6 also. So then also you should be able to answer these type of questions. Okay. So I hope it is clear. So if you are having doubts regarding this algorithm, you can ask. Very simple again. So the only thing which you have to remember is you have to take the smallest value, not the largest one. Okay. So there is one previous question which is given based on this particular algorithm. So only one question is there. This is an example problem so that you can understand this algorithm. So we'll see one gate previous year question. So there is only one gate previous year question that we will see now. So please reply any doubts regarding this or otherwise we will move to the question which was asked in the gate examination. Only one question, gate 2008 question. So if you remember, gate 2008 paper was set by IISc Bangalore. So they have asked these type of questions also. Okay. So if you are done with this, I will erase this one. Then we will move to the question also. So look at the question, just go to it, go through the question, read it. Okay, so go to this particular question. So I am just drawing the network diagram which is given in the question. So this is your P node. So which was missing in the slides. So if you are done reading this particular one and just take down the given data, then I will move to the next slide. So that you can answer this one. Okay. So just go through the previous question which we have solved and just try to link that particular question with this one. So this P term is missing. Okay, that's why I have again drawn this particular network diagram. Right. So nothing is there. Previously we have taken node values as circles. So here they have represented it as dots. That's all. Fine. So I'm just moving to the next slide. Okay. So anyone who can answer this particular question. So little bit of tricky question, or else we can say not a difficult question. Okay. So because they are giving some numerical values, they have not given some numerical values. They are dealing with some variables here. That's why it becomes little bit complicated to answer. So maybe still you can give a try. So just compare this network diagram with the previous one which we have already discussed. So how that algorithm we have seen, how we have followed that particular algorithm. Same things you can do here also. Option C. So just you have to understand the things which are given in the question. Fine. So people who have not understood this particular thing, I am just explaining here. So please listen carefully. So they are saying that for a network below, the objective is to find the length of the shortest path from node P to node G. So initially we found the shortest path from node 1 to node 7, remember in the last question. So they are saying that now here also you have to find the shortest path from node P to node G. That's all. Now, so let Dij be the length of the directed arc from node I to node J. So what is Dij here? So previously we have taken weightages or time periods like 15 hours, 25 hours. Remember? So those values are your Dij values. Okay. So how can I write Dij here? So here what are the values which we are writing? Those are your Dij values. So Dij, so node I, node J. So I am just replacing I value with Q and J value with G. So this will become DQG, right? And what about this one? This will become DRG. Okay. So previously we have taken some numbers, right? Like 15 hours, 25 hours, like that. Okay. But here we are taking some variables. That's all. That is the only difference between the previous question and this one. So let's look at the next statement. So let Sj be the length of the shortest path from P to node J. Now you just replace this Sj, replace this J value with Q. So Sq will be the length of the shortest path from P to node Q. Sq will be the length of shortest path from node P to Q. So SQ will be the length of the shortest path from P to Q. So I just have replaced J value with Q value. That's all. Okay. Now from P to Q, what is the length of the shortest path? It is SQ. Now just look at this, what I am writing here. I am just writing SQ here. So I hope this is okay for you. So previously we have written like 40 and everything, some values we have written. So just try to compare this one with the previous problem. So SQ will be the length of the shortest path from P to Q. So similarly, I am writing SR. So SR will be the length of the shortest path from P to R. So how can we write this SR? So SR will be the length of the shortest path from P to R. So now what they are asking in the question? So they are asking us to calculate the length of the shortest path from P to G, or from first node to the last node. That's all. So what will happen to this? This will be your SG. So length of the shortest path from P to, so this will become, so I'll write P here, otherwise you will get confused. So from P to G. Okay. So here I have to write SG. Okay. So how can we write SG? So SG value is equal to, so just go to the previous question. There we got last value SG. I mean, here we got values like 50, 55, 60, right? So among those values we have taken which value? Minimum value. So SQ plus DQG. So minimum of SQ plus DQG, comma, SR plus. So what is the correct answer? It is option C. Minimum of SQ plus DQG, comma, SR plus DRG. Got it? Not clear? Okay, Saurav, I think it's correct. It's okay for you, right? So like, you just compare IJ values like in CPM and PERT, node I, node J. So node I, node J. Similarly, node I, node J. Start node and end node of an activity. Like that you can compare. I hope you got that. With this, we are done with our network flow models also. So next we'll start with linear programming. Okay. So what they are saying, they are given this particular network diagram. So you just have to compare this one with the previous question. Okay. Otherwise, you will not understand. So previous question, we have seen how to apply that particular algorithm and how to find the shortest path from start node to end node, or else from start node to any other node. Okay. So there we have seen that there we have considered them as cities, right? But I am now now I am just referring them as nodes. That's all. Okay. Now, so this is not given, so this is missing in the slides. So you can add this P value. Okay. So some typing error was there. So I'm just reading this question again. So we have to find the shortest path from P to G. So let Dij value be the length of the directed arc. So previously I have taken weightages or time periods. So just look at the previous question. Okay. So those time periods are your weightages, or you can say length of the directed arcs also. So they are saying that Dij. So this is node I, this is node J. Okay. So Dij. So in place of I am replacing Q. In place of J, I am replacing G. So this is DQG. Similarly, this will be DRG. So other values we don't know. Okay. So they have not given some variables here, right? So no need to worry about the other values, other length of the arcs or other weightages. No need to worry. Okay. So I hope this is clear. DRG, DQG. So Dij. So node I, node J. Okay. So previously we have taken them as time periods. Okay. Now they are saying that these are the length of the arcs. Lengths. Fine. Next. So look at the question. They said that Sj is the length of the shortest path from P to Q. Sj, it is the length of the shortest path from node P to node J. Okay. So node P, so this is node P to node J. Let us say this is I, node I. So node J will be somewhere here. Okay. Now just replace that J value with Q value. So SQ will be the length of the shortest path from P to Q. Okay. So SQ will be the length of the shortest path from P to Q. So in place of J, I am just taking it as Q. So SQ will be the length of the shortest path from P to Q. P to Q. So go back again, look at the previous question. So from P to Q, it is the shortest path. So where we have written the shortest path? Like this. Length of the shortest path. Okay. So SQ value I am just writing in the box. So previously we had numericals, now we are having some variables. That's all. That is the only difference. So similarly, we can write SR value, length of the shortest path from P to R. Okay, so this will be your SR value. So it is the length of the shortest path from P to R. So again, replace that J value with R value, read the statement, you will get this thing. Okay, so what we have done previously, so this value plus this value we have written here, and this value plus this value we have written here. Among those values, we have taken the minimum value. So in the previous question, what we got? 50, I think 50, 55 and some 60 also we got, I guess. Right? So among those three values, we have taken the minimum value. So here also you have to do same thing, minimum of SQ plus DQG, comma, SR plus DRG. Okay. So this was the only question in the GATE examination. So if you are not having any doubts, please copy this. We'll move to the next chapter. We'll start with the next chapter.